normally go live at, what is today? Thursday? I don't go live at 6:40 in the morning on a Thursday. But I have been thinking, that's a scary thought, I realize. I've been thinking, and I was thinking that in order for more people to get to know what my lives are about, I need to go live vertical so that people that don't normally follow me know who I am. And so I am, I'm not the live I'm not the channel that goes live in the afternoon. I'm a channel that goes live at the crack butt of dawn, right? And if you follow me, you know that the reason I go live at the butt crack of dawn is because I have people pulling in my driveway around 10 o'clock. So, and I'm open to the public, so the only time I have time to get ready and chit chat is early in the morning. So I thought I'm gonna try to go live vertical more often so that more people that don't follow me or don't subscribe to my page, they can kind of get to know who I am. Because if you just are scrolling, let's just say through YouTube, you see that I'm a farm, right? So if you don't know who I am and you're scrolling through my page, you're like, oh, this is a girl that has a farm, which is the truth. Yes, you are correct. I do have a farm. But then if you keep scrolling because you're like, this girl looks interesting. I don't know why I would look interesting, but let's just say you're like, this girl looks interesting, so I want to check her out. And then you're like, okay, well, she's a farm, but she goes live at 7 a.m. putting on her makeup. So like, what does that have to, like, what is that all about? So as you begin to dig to figure out who I am, you see I'm kind of like all over the map, right? like 1 minute, I'm doing makeup. 1 minute, I'm doing farm stuff. I'm out there singing to an animal or training an animal. Or 1 minute, I'm in the school system. Or 1 minute, I'm at the library doing incubation projects. I'm kind of a creator that's all over the map. So welcome to the train wreck show. If you're following me for the first time, welcome to the train wreck show. I don't pretend to have it all together. I'm not the channel that, I'm a channel that's real. I'm not saying that other channels aren't real. I'm just saying that, like, I shouldn't have said real. I'm a channel that's raw. That's a good word. I'm raw. That's what I am. So raw means like I don't sugarcoat anything. Like I'm not a. Yes, I'm an entertainer. I am. But I'm not a good pretender. Is that the word? I mean, I am an entertainer, but I'm not a good pretender. Meaning like, if something was bothering me right now, let's just say, I don't know how to let that go and pretend like absolutely nothing's bothering me and sit here and just be happy-go-lucky. That's what I mean. So I'm a very raw channel, meaning that you never know what you're getting. It's like, I don't know, one day I may be crying because I'm upset. The next day I might be super hyper and like wanting to get up and dance. The next day I might be, and I don't pretend to be somebody I'm not. I am just Judy, period. So if you're on here and you're trying to figure out if I'm selling makeup, I'm not. As a matter of fact, I'm a little probably old school because I am the age of 54. I'm not, obviously, I'm not a young teenager, and I don't sit and watch makeup tutorials all the time to figure out how to do my makeup different. I just slap the crap on, okay? So if you're following me and you're trying to watch for makeup tips, don't, because I'm not selling makeup and I'm not, I don't have the secret to make your eyes look bigger or whatever. I don't. The reason I put my makeup on, I was trying to remember back when I first went live and started putting my makeup up. Why did I do that? Like, what possessed me to go, I'm fixing to go live with not a lick of makeup on, and I'm fixing to just put my makeup on? Listen, I do not know. I just started doing it. I think I started doing it because I have people pulling in the driveway at 10 o'clock. And, like, let's just say I'm doing a field trip. Well, like, say it's a bunch of first graders, and I'm doing a field trip. Well, the moms come because it's the first field trip their kids have ever been on, and they want to put it in their baby book. And then I'm over here looking like, who to thunk it? That's how I think in my brain. It's like, I'm in somebody's baby book, And I'm like, I don't want years down the road, this kid to be looking at, oh God, what? Shit. I don't know. That's how my brain works. And so in my head, I don't have time to go live. First of all, my farm is in the back of my property. Why I did that is beyond me, but it's in the back of my property. Like when we were doing my farm, it's not like I said, hey, I need to find some place I can go live. I didn't even know I was going to do this, right? Like, it's not like this was all planned out. So my farm is in the back of my property. So it's hard for me to go live in my farm because I don't have good Wi-Fi. So then, like I said, I'm open to the public, and usually I'm doing field trips from 10 to 1. So I can't go live doing a field trip when I got 100 kids out here. And at 1 o'clock, it's time for me to eat lunch, and then I'm about to pass out on the floor because I've been doing a field trip since 10 o'clock. And before the field trip, I have to go do farm chores, so I can't go really live doing my farm chores. I'm also a YouTuber, so I have to allow some time for me to film. So the only time I really can go live is at 7 o'clock in the morning, because I go do animals at 8, because then people are pulling in the driveway. I do want to talk to y'all about something that bothered me about pedals. Okay. I had not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, but 5 people come up to me. And they said, I used to follow your channel, but when the USDA and all you got shut down, I had to stop watching you. And I wished I would have dug for reasons. I wish I'd have said, well, why? But I didn't. I didn't say that. I just sat there because I didn't know what to say. And the last thing I want to do is to put, somebody on the spots to go, what? So you stopped following me and watching my channel because the USDA closed down my farm. And I thought in my head, after the 5th person said that to me, I was like, Lord, I need to break this down. That does not make sense to me. Why would 5 people stop watching my channel? Now, one lady did elaborate a little bit. She said it was causing her severe anxiety. It was causing her severe anxiety that the USDA closed me down. And that I felt confused about that too. And I to be honest with you, the rest of the day, it kind of dampened my spirits. Honestly, it did. And I was like, Judy, don't let this rob you of your joy. There's people here that are coming to meet you. And then I sat there and was telling myself, no, Judy, they're not coming to meet you. They're coming to meet these bigger channels that told them to follow you. So I was beating myself up at Petals. Okay? Like I really was. After those 5 people said that to me, I was just like, because what has happened as a creator with me, I don't understand it. I told you guys a couple of weeks ago that I got talked into doing YouTube. It wasn't my idea. Okay? I didn't know how to edit a video. Okay? It was Jason and Brooke and Jacqueline from Head Family Farm that taught me into doing YouTube. And Jacqueline one day set me down. We were at, I think Panera Bread, with a computer, and she's like, this is how you do it. And she set YouTube up for me. She set the ending up. She showed me how to do that. She just hit the highlights. And I had to come home going, I don't know how to do this right. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. So, for some reason, I listened to them and I said, okay, I'm going to do YouTube. I told you guys, I didn't even have a computer, okay? I was doing everything by my phone. And then Jason and Brooke come to my farm and bam, I have 13,000 subscribers overnight. And I don't even know what I'm doing. I don't know how, I'm sitting at the Starbucks every day trying to upload videos because my Wi-Fi is not even fast enough to do it. And I'm doing everything by phone. I don't know what I'm doing. I've been told to do this, and then I've been thrown to the wolves. They're like, it's like, you need to do this. Here's the basics. Go. And I am like trying to keep my head above water going, what am I doing? What does this mean? I remember vividly when Dee Dee had Cinco. Dee Dee is my cow. When she had Cinco, I remember Jacqueline going, you got to go live. You got to go live. And I went and started going live with Cinco being born. And all of a sudden, I don't know nothing about YouTube, right? And all of a sudden, as I was live, she started having some difficulties, and we had to call the vet. And when I called the vet, people, y'all know me, Mom can't see without her glasses. And I kept seeing, like, super thanks. I didn't even know what a super thanks was. I wasn't saying, I don't even know if I said thank you. I didn't know what was happening. Jacqueline starts texting me, Judy, the people are sending you money for the vet bill. You need to tell them thank you. I'm like, people are sending me money for the vet bill? Like, I was really dumbfounded, okay? When I tell you I was brand new, didn't know what I was doing, I was wondering why these hearts and stuff were coming through because I could see those, but I didn't know what was going on, okay? That's how new I was. And when Jason and Brooke filmed my farm, instantly I had a following, and instantly people were beating me. Your music's too loud. You're nothing like Jason and Brooke. And I'm like, no, because I'm Judy. I'm not Jason and Brooke. And it was just like, my views, like at the time, you know, Dee Dee had a baby. So anytime a baby's born on the farm, you have a lot of views because people love them some babies, right? Me too. And so she was pregnant, and she had baby piglets. So my views were like fantastic. And I was like, wow, this is nice. Like, I didn't even have to do anything. Like, one day I get on YouTube, the next day, you know, it takes people years to get 13,000 subscribers. Overnight, I have 13,000, and then my views are like 5,000 and 6,000, and I'm like, dang, like I didn't even do anything, you know? And then all of a sudden, they start going down. And then when you're a YouTuber and you have, like, let's just say 5,000 or 6,000 views, and then all of a sudden you have 700, you're like, well, what did I do? What was so bad about this video? Like, what did I do wrong? So then you start beating yourself up. Well, oh, people don't like me. Oh, what did I do wrong? Oh, I'm not interesting. And you just begin to question everything. Well, as time has gone on, if a bigger channel doesn't say go follow her or go watch her video, I don't have as many views. And I'm like, this feels sad to me. This feels awful. Like, dang. Like, I don't understand. But it's because no one knows me. And it takes a long time to build a relationship with people. And I thought, when people came to Petals, and, you know, recently my views have been awful. And I'm like, it's like you start building friendships. And so when people start watching your channel and they comment, that's how you build a friendship. But see, when people are on the couch watching TV, they can't comment, so it's hard to build a relation. It's hard for me to build a relationship with them because I don't even know their name. And so I don't even know. I mean, I see, like, let's just say I had 500 views that day, and I had 38 comments. Well, obviously a lot of people have not commented, and I sit here and go, I wonder who it is. I'd love to know their name, but they can't comment because they're watching me on TV. And so it's hard. It's like I can't get to know you when I don't even know your name. And so when my views started, I was like beating myself up. And then when you look all around and then other Alabama channels are like thriving, you're like, what is wrong with my channel? Am I too hyper? Am I like, what happened? And I remember having a conversation with Chris just recently. I'm like, what's wrong? Why people stop watching my channel? What have I done? It almost feels like my friends, you're not a number to me. I wonder who you are behind the screen. I want to see a picture of you. I want to be friends with you. I want to, like, you're not a number to me. It's not, my channel's not like that. And so I, when I went to Petals and they were like, well, Judy, we stopped watching you because of USDA. And I was like, oh, that's when I needed you the most. I wanted to say that, but I didn't want to. I mean, if I was stressing someone out, like, I don't want to sit there and stress them out, right? Like that's not what I want to do. But I realized when I got home, I felt really sad because I felt like I lost 5 backup dancers. I lost 5 friends for being myself. And as I sat here and I thought about it, you know, I can remember like being a little kid when you lost a friend and your mom was trying to encourage you, you know, to just keep being yourself. You know, you got to find your circle of friends. And I remember Mom talking to me, especially if me and a friend got in a fight, her trying to encourage me to be kind and, you know, not be ugly, and but stand up for myself. And I felt those, like, I could feel like my mom, it was almost like my mom was talking to me going, Judy, at the end of the day, you have to be yourself, right? At the end of the day, if I sit here and let's just say, pretend to be somebody else, it's not going to last very long. I'm going to be fake. And then when you meet me in person, I'm going to be fake. And I thought, I'm sorry that when I was going through those times of having my farm shut down, I was stressing someone out. Like, that wasn't my intent. Hey, if anybody was stressed out, how about me? The girl that was trying to figure out how to pay for her farm, and her farm is closed and she may have to get rid of her animals. Like, let's put yourself in my shoes. How do you think you were stressed out? I was stressed out thinking about having to get rid of my babies. And I did have to get rid of my babies. Ain't nobody was stressed out as worse than Judy Snead. I'm here to tell you right this minute. But I never gave up. I didn't stop putting out content. I cried my eyes out every single day. Felt kicked in the teeth, going, oh my gosh, what am I going to do to pay for my farm? My life has just turned upside down. But I never quit. I still filmed content. I still was truthful. I was still myself, and I just kept on keeping on. And the thought that people stopped following me because of that, I was like, you know, I'm still understanding YouTube, right? I was not a YouTube watcher. I'm still not. I wish I could watch other channels and support them, but it's like, by the time I do a field trip or go into a school or go into a library, come home, do lunch, feed Larry, do farm chores, I just don't have a lot of time to sit and watch other channels. But my desire is, I don't not watch because I'm not supportive of other people. I am. Like, I'm a team player, and I want other channels to win. And this weekend when I was at Petals, I sat, because, you know, the smaller channels, we don't really have a long line. Okay, we don't. You know, the bigger channels do. And so it's like the smaller channels are sitting there, and like the line beside me is so long, it's wrapped around the you know, it's huge. And then I have a couple of people come at it by the time, and it's almost like you don't feel seen, because some people that come to Petals, they don't support all the channels because they don't know who I am. They don't know who Snead's Farmhouse is. So they're not going to come up to my booth. They don't know who I am. But then there's some people that make sure they visit every single booth and make sure every YouTuber is they introduce themselves. And so to me, when you come to Petals and you make sure, because I mean, I do get why you're excited to see one channel, and then you go wait an hour and a half in one line just to see two people. Like, I can see where, I mean, I get it. I mean, I get it. You got a relationship with them because you watch them. But like, I can't even describe what it means when I watch people come to Petals and they start at the front and they make their rounds. And they don't, like, there's some people that walk by and they just look and they never stop and speak to me. And I usually, because you know me, I usually go, "Hey, welcome. I'm so glad you came to Petals. My name's Judy. I'm with Snead's Farmhouse." I won't let them pass me. And the reason is because these people came a long way to come to Petals. Us as creators, we need to thank them. And I know not everybody has the same personality as me where they'll just go up to people they don't know and talk to them. But I feel it's important for me as a YouTuber to thank the people for coming. Even if they don't stop at my booth. Like, without them, there would be no event. So I make sure that I do that. But because a lot of times I sit quietly and I'm able to look. And I'm able to observe what is happening. And I can look over and see someone, you know, like, "Oh my gosh, I'm next in line. I'm so excited to, you know, I don't know, meet Jamie. Oh my gosh, I can't wait to get a picture." As a matter of fact, this lady came to my booth after she went to Jamie's, and her whole body was shaking. And she goes, "I'm sorry I'm shaking, but I just met Jamie." And I was like, wow. You know what I mean? Like, wow. But as I sat and observed, I noticed the people coming to see the YouTubers, and I noticed the YouTubers like seeing the people, and I noticed the YouTubers that support other farms. Now, I did not get to go to the dinner on Friday. Why did I not get to go to the dinner on Friday? Well, first of all, I don't live close enough to drive to Petals 3 times in a day and a half. So I would have to go to Petals, eat dinner, drive to Petals, eat dinner, drive home, drive to Petals. You know, I can't do that. I live an hour and 45 minutes away from Petals. So I'm not able to do that. And plus the fact that, I don't know, I probably look like a snot face to all the YouTubers because I'm not there. Because I can't, y'all. Like, I've never been able to go to it because I have responsibilities here. And so, you know, a lot of the YouTubers are able to, because Saturday's really not for the YouTubers to meet each other. It's more for us to meet our followers. So I'm trying to cram, speaking, you know, to other YouTubers, I'm trying to cram it in with also meeting people, also trying to film for the people that are not there. So it begins to be difficult. But if you're one of the people that unfollowed me, or not, which they didn't say they unfollowed me, they just said they stopped watching my content because the USDA closed my farm down. And I don't even know what to say. It took me by surprise when 5 people, it wasn't one person, and it wasn't the 5 people together, it was 5 people at different times telling me. And I saw Chris, I said, well, there you go. That's why my numbers are down. I stress people out. And I said, you know, there are channels that like, how do I put this? You know, there are channels, well, you know, every YouTuber can pick and choose what we show you, right? Because we're filming, right? So if, let's just say, Sally Sue is over here sick and we don't want you to know it, we're just not going to film it and we're not going to talk about it, you know? Or if there's something, I don't know. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? We pick and choose what we put on our content. And I'm a channel that's pretty raw. Pretty raw. So when you see me, it might be emotional. It might be a sad day. It might be a day of me being hostile. It may be a day of me crying. It may be a day of, like, hang on. It may be a day of me feeling lonely. It may be an animal has died. It may be my farm. You got to know, first of all, I need to get my preaching stick out. You have to know that majority of the channels that you follow are not open to the public. So the USDA is not coming up getting all in their business because they're not open to the public. I am. So, you know, it's like getting animal control called on you. Some channels have had animal control called on them, but they don't choose to share it. Why? Because they don't want that for their channel. They're like, I'm not bringing attention to the animal control coming to my farm, because that's not what my channel is about. My channel is about bringing happiness. My channel is about making someone smile. So they never tell you when an animal dies, or they never tell you when, or maybe they tell you when animals die, but they don't tell you when every animal, like, let's just say they have a bunch of chickens, okay? And a chicken is sick, and they might not tell you when every chicken dies or something like that. They want to bring nothing but happiness to their viewers, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's just how that's how their channel is. They're happy-go-lucky. Where my channel is more raw. So I have to, as I am a creator, I have to figure out who's going to stick with me through the thick and thin. You know, it's kind of like, you know, if you had a group of friends and you got, let's say you're going through a divorce and your friend goes, you're stressing me out. Like, I can't be in all your messy business. And she leaves you as a friend. And you're like, I'm going through a divorce, and she just walked out the door and is no longer my friend because she can't deal with the stress. Can you imagine what I feel like? I'm the one going through it. You know, it's kind of like that. But my channel, I guess, is not for everyone because I'm raw. I'm going to talk about mental health. You're going to see people with disabilities on my farm. You're going to see animals with disabilities on my farm. you're going to see emotions. You're going to see happiness. You're going to, like, my channel is the raw truth. I don't sugarcoat anything. When Shane and I go at each other, that's not made up. Now, sometimes it happens off camera, and then I say, hey, let's do this again. Sometimes that happens. And sometimes I just literally pull out the camera, and I'm like, watch his reaction. And you can tell he has no idea what's about to come out of my mouth, you know? It's not staged to entertain you. It's how Shane and I are. But not, you know, all channels have different goals, and it doesn't mean that they're right and I'm wrong, or I'm wrong and you know, it doesn't mean that. It's just there's different channels to follow. If you want a channel that just tells you all the good because you're like, I'm a depressed person and I don't want to see anything sad, then you need to go follow a channel that's not raw. But usually when you follow a farm, you're going to see cows' tutus. You're going to see death. You're going to see birth. You're going to see everything. And when people go, why is she taking a picture of her cow's tutu? Because I'm a farm channel. And the tutu tells us it's an education. The tutu tells us how far in, you know, if she's close to delivery. It's not that I'm trying to disgust you out. That is how a farmer tells if she's getting close to due date. And if you're the type of person that watches YouTube during your supper time and a tutu grosses you out, then maybe you should watch another channel other than a farm. I don't know. Maybe you should watch a laser channel. You know, how people build a laser. I don't know. Or a history channel or something. I don't know. Well, sometimes history channels can be, you know, raw because you learn about animals. But that's how it is. And I want to say, in life, I have learned that in life you have a small circle of friends. You know what I'm talking about? You know how, like, you learned that not everybody's your friend, you know, and your mom tells you you're going to have a small circle of friends. And I think about that. And I'm like, so as I grow relationships with backup dancers, does that mean I'm going to have a small group circle of friends? Because in my heart and my passion, as a matter of fact, on Saturday, this Saturday, my video that's coming out, there's a lady that watches me on TV. She never comments. When she told me she was coming to my farm, I was like, who is this? You know, like, if Mary H. came to my farm, I know exactly who she is. You know, if Jane Foster came to my farm, I know exactly. If Becky came to my farm, the people that comment, if Cynthia came to my farm, I would know. If Heidi came to my farm, I would know exactly who she is. I mean, I might not know what her face looks like, but if she said, Judy, it's Heidi, I'd be like, oh my gosh, because she comments. So I feel like I'm BFF with her. And so when people watch me on the TV and they don't comment, and then they say, hey, my name is Tina Seuss. I'm like, Tina. Tina. So then I start messaging backup dancers. I'm like, have you seen Tina comment? And they're like, no. And I'm like, oh, this lady's coming to my farm and I've never seen her name. No clue who she was. So she came, this lady, I didn't even turn my curling iron on. This lady, what time is it? I have to go to the feed store this morning. Oh, Lord. This lady flew in from Massachusetts to Alabama, got a rent-a-car, and drove probably an hour and 15 minutes to Snead's farmhouse. And I didn't even know her name. I had no clue who she was. She gets out of the car, and she's so excited to meet me. And the bad thing is when people don't comment, I know nothing about them. Like when y'all comment in the mornings on my lives, I read them. So I like kind of get to know you. I know that, your aunt just died, or I know that you have a dog that loves you generally. I learn about you when you comment. So I had to get to know her because I said, where do you watch me? And she said, on TV. I said, oh, so that's why you don't comment. She said, yes. Okay, well, she has worked in a group home her whole entire life. So that's how she felt a connection with me, is because she actually takes care of a guy with Down syndrome, and he's autistic. So she felt a connection with me because of the center coming to my farm. Well, she asked me, she said, I know Petals is on Saturday, but can I stay longer in my hotel and come Wednesday and meet the group home? And I said, yes. And I have let several backup dancers come on Wednesday to meet the group home. Well, I forgot that the group home was not coming Wednesday because I'm in a library. So I was like, oh gosh, she's going to be so disappointed because she's not going to get to meet the group home, or the center, I guess I should say. And so I said, hey, the center will not be here on Wednesday because I have to go to a library. Would you like to go to the library with me? And she said, I can? I said, yes. So Wednesday morning, she met me at my house at 9 o'clock. She got in my car and we drove to the library. So on the way to the library, it was like I had read like 1,000 comments because I got to know her. I got to know like what she did, what she likes, how old she is, what she looks like. Like I got to know her. And she went in the library with me and got to witness. There were 44 kids in the library, and I was doing the incubation project, and she got to see me in action. And then I said, do you want to go to the pharmacy, that has the old school ice cream shop? She goes, will you take me? So I took her there, and I took her to the monastery, and I took her to this waterfall, and then I took her to it's a local Amish restaurant, not restaurant, but sandwich shop, bakery. I've been there before on my videos. I took her there, and then she left, and today she's getting on a plane to go back home. And she was talking to me, and she said, Judy, I watch a lot of channels, and I watch a lot of farm channels. And she said, I've never reached out to a creator before, and I'm surprised that I reached out to you. And I said, well, what made you reach out to me? And she said, because I felt a connection with you. And I said, I'm glad you did. And we were sitting in the front of the car. We were sitting in the front seat at the library talking, and tears are running down her face. And she said, Judy, for the first time in my life, I've been working on me. And she said, it's because I watch your lives in the morning. And I said, okay. I said, tell me more. And she said, I've lost 50 pounds. I'm going through a divorce. I got on the airplane by myself for the first time. I came to meet you, which is not in my comfort zone. That I would never have done this. But I didn't want to sit it out. You taught me to dance. And I'm like, I'm just like bawling. Because sometimes when you're on my side, of the video, I have no clue if you're the person that says, I'll never watch her again, or you're the person that goes, I can make a connection with you and you help me. I have no idea. You know, like sometimes me being on this side, you know how you beat yourself up, you know, it's just human nature. We beat ourselves up and we're like, ain't nobody listening to me. Nobody's even, I went from having 5,000 views to 700. Like, they hate me. You know, we beat ourselves up. We're like, why am I even doing this? Like, I'm spending 4 hours of my day to upload a video and no one wants to watch me. We do that. You do that. I'm sure you do. Ain't nobody listening. Nobody wants to come to my house for Christmas. We beat ourselves up. And I am so guilty of it. And when she said all those things to me, I said, Tina, it is sometimes very hard for me to tell the truth about being a train wreck. You know, like when I'm telling the raw truth about things that go on in my life and how I got to where I am today, it's like I have to bring up old wounds. You know, like especially with my ex-husband, I have to bring up when, you know, hard times, or if I talk about being in the hospital, you know, I have to bring up those hard times. But I really feel like that if I share my story, maybe it would help someone else. And listening to her go, I have done things this week that I would have never done in my life because I'm not like that. But I realized that, I can't remember how old she is, but she was like, I knew that I needed to do this for myself. I knew I needed to be the best version of myself. And in order to be the best version of myself, I knew I needed to lose weight. I knew I needed to get out of my comfort zone, go travel. I'm a single mom, you know, basically. And I knew I needed to do something for myself to take care of myself. And you helped me do that. And I'm thinking, this lady that I didn't even know her name, I didn't even know her name. I didn't even know she watched me. I mean, I guess it was kind of like she was just a number because she was the person on the couch that never commented. So sometimes I take that for granted because I don't see people comment and I don't know their name. And it's so wonderful to know. It kind of woke me up and go, okay, just because you don't comment, I love you. I know you're there. I mean, it does come up on my side as a number, but you're not a number to me. You're very special to me. And I told her, I said, I'm probably the only creator that allows people to come to my house. You know, a lot of creators would never do that. But I have realized that there are a lot of bad people in this world. Don't get me wrong. There are. But on my channel, there's more good than there are bad. There are definitely more good people than there are. I mean, yes, there are people calling the USDA and calling animal control on me and things like that. Yes, there are bad people that hate my guts. But the good way outweighs the bad by far. By far. And I'm like trying as I hear testimonies from you guys, because I've heard a lot of testimonies, you know, in the past weekend, and it makes me smile, because this is how I think about it, is I'm glad I'm the channel that's raw. I'm glad who I am, because with my farm, you know, some channels, you know, have gotten really big and they've been blessed to leave their jobs. You know, I know a lot of channels that do YouTube full time, and they have been very successful, and they've been able to stay home with their families and, you know, do farming full time, which is what all farmers want to do. And they were able to do that because of you watching their channel. And I sit here and think about Shane and I, and what would, like, let's just say, I don't know, God bless my farm, and I started having 72,000 views on my video, let's just say, okay, and I became a millionaire. Shane's not quitting his job, because we owe fogies, okay? Shane's about to retire. The last thing Shane's gonna do is lose his retirement. I could be a billionaire, and Shane's going to work out his retirement. He's going to work 3 more years for his retirement. Like, that is not our goal, is to quit our jobs and farm full time. That's not our mission. Shane's not quitting his job. My goal is to be the best version of myself, to hold your hand, to help you be the best version of yourself. And my goal is to give back to my community and to people that watch me. I mean, I would be lying if I didn't say, oh yes, I would love to make it big. We all would. I mean, come on. That's, you know, we all would. But let's think about this just a minute. I'm going to tell you what I think I would do. If me and Shane won the lottery, what would I do? I definitely would move. I will tell you that. I would move and get a pasture land for my animals. I would definitely do that. I think I would like, if I was rich, I think I would give back as much as possible. I think the first thing that I would do is buy, I don't know, 20 little houses for group homes. Because there's a new group home that came to my farm, and they're just starting, and they probably need houses. And I would want to buy houses for a group home to live in. I think that I would give more than I received. I think that's what I would do, because I find joy in giving. I love to give. It brings joy to me. Are y'all like that? Or do y'all like to receive, or do you like to give? If I could buy 20 group home houses and name the houses after my animals, y'all, that's like hitting the lottery to me, okay? Like, oh my gosh. Can't you see Leroy Brown's house, you know, or something like that? And I provide, or Snead's Farmhouse provide houses for people in need. That's my goal. My goal is not for Shane to retire and us to live happily ever after, because that's going to happen in 3 years anyway. Like, we're already there. We were there before I started YouTube, okay? That's not our goal. It's not. So I know that we're a bit different than other farms. But I've got to go get feed this morning. So, if you have stuck with me through thick and thin, you are my BFF. And I need to know your name. So if you're watching me on the TV right now and you have stuck with me through thick and thin, I ask you to send me an email and please tell me your name. Because I'm going to start a notebook. I'm going to start a notebook. Because I don't need, you don't have to necessarily comment every time if you're on the TV. But, like, there's this one backup dancer, and she goes, I'm on your lives every single morning, but I don't comment. But I want you to know I'm there. And then randomly, she'll go, I was on your live. Because she wants me to know she's there. But I don't see her comment. And I can't tell who likes. I can't tell who leaves my video. I can't tell you. All I can see is comments, okay? And a number that my video has been viewed. But she wants to make sure that I know that she is there every single morning. And I cannot tell you what that does for me. Just a simple, I was there. I didn't comment, but I was there. I love you, and you know I'm there. It is amazing what that does to me as an individual. Because there's days I feel like I just can't do this anymore. Because it's hard. Believe it or not, it is a job. I don't want it to be a job, but it has become a job because I spend hours videoing, editing, uploading, going live, trying to figure out what to talk about. I spend hours and a lot of time into our friendship, yours and I, our friendship. I put a lot of effort into our friendship. And just a simple, I'm here. I don't comment, but I'm here. Or a simple email. I watch on TV and I want you to know I'm here. It means the world to me. Because I don't want this to be a one-sided relationship. I don't want you to know everything about me and I don't know your name. I love you guys. Today is Thursday. Today, the center is coming today, which is odd because normally they come on Wednesdays. But I've been doing a incubation project in the library. So the center is coming today. And then I have a huge field trip for the first time since my farm has closed down on Friday. And I'm so looking forward to it. So today is Thursday and you have a choice. You can sit it out or you can dance. And I hope you dance. I will see y'all, I don't know, sometime. My video will come out this afternoon and then my video will come out Saturday. Thank you for joining me and I'll see you next time.